In this video, I'm going to go over Lightroom 5's awesome new lens correction features. Now, I'm in the Develop module, and over in the right side panels under Lens Corrections, I'll open that up. And we have now some new controls in Lightroom 5. We're going to start here in the Basic tab. Enable Profile Corrections. This is familiar to those of you who have used earlier versions of Lightroom. Lightroom 4 had this Enable Profile Corrections as well. And what this does, when I select it, you can see it will actually apply a profile correction to this particular lens. And I know which profile that's being used by selecting profile, and it shows me here, it knows from the EXIF data that this is a Sigma 15 millimeter, and it will then apply a profile that it has preloaded. There are many, many, many different profiles already loaded in Lightroom, but you can also create your own custom profiles. I suggest going to the Adobe website for more information on that. So this is pretty much familiar ground for anybody that's used previous versions of Lightroom. It's fairly automatic. You can come in and do some tweaking with the distortion slider here and the vignetting slider as well. So you can fine-tune the profile. So let me go ahead and now go back over to the Basic tab, and I'm just going to move on down through the different options here. So chromatic aberrations, I need to open up another image to find one that has some chromatic aberrations. They usually are found on the sharp edges, on the kind of on the far sides of the image, and depending on your lens, depending on the aperture, you may get what's called like a halo effect from this aberration, this chromatic aberration. And it's really easy to remove them. I've already selected remove, so they've been removed, but let me deselect that. And you can see now there's this kind of a purple halo around the edge. This is actually a pretty good lens that I was using, and it was fairly stopped down. I think it was f9. It's going to be more apparent with less expensive lenses and more wider apertures, but sometimes they can be pretty annoying. But it's really simple to get rid of them with Lightroom. And this is in previous versions of Lightroom as well. You just click on the Remove Chromatic Aberrations, and it does a pretty good job right there of removing them. Let me go ahead and deselect that and come over to the Color tab, because in Lightroom 5, we have another way of removing the chromatic aberrations. It gives you more control for those of you who really want to get in there and do this right. We can take this color picker here, and we go up and we find a fringe color. And you can see with the grid, I can adjust that grid down here so I can make it coarser or finer. So I can come right in there and find the color that's making up the chromatic aberration. And then I click, and it'll automatically remove it. And I can fine-tune my settings here with the purple hue and green hue sliders. All right, so this is all new to Lightroom 5. Let me go back over to the Basic tab, and we're going to move into something that is brand new in Lightroom 5 that's pretty cool. It's getting a lot of good press, and I'm pretty excited about it as well. So I'm going to select another image here to work with. Here's an image that obviously could use a little straightening. Before, in earlier versions of Lightroom, I could do this using the crop overlay tool. But now with Lightroom 5, this can be straightened. The horizon can be straightened automatically. All I have to do is select level, and it will automatically level this picture for me. It's that easy. Now, if there's any vertical correction that needs to be done as well, I can hit vertical, and you can see it's corrected for some of the vertical problems as well. I can tell better that it's done a good job by opening up a grid, and I'm going to do that by holding the Option or Alt and Command or Control keys, and then hit the O key, and that opens up a grid. This is also new in Lightroom 5, and I love having a grid like this at my fingertips. If I hold the Command or Control key, I have now ways of controlling the size I can make it much coarser or much finer just by clicking left and right there. And I can change the opacity of it so I can make it more prominent or less prominent. In any case, this grid is great for situations like this where I want to make sure that my horizon is now level and my vertical lines are straight. And when I want to get rid of that overlay, it's Option or Alt, Command or Control O. So for Lightroom to do a proper job on this image, it needed to, well, you can see it, our edges there, we've lost some edges. So if we want to constrain the crop, if we want to get rid of that white area, we just select Constrain Crop and Lightroom will automatically crop it for you. You could always use the Crop Overlay tool as well to do that. So let me go ahead and find another image. Here's one here. Now, this is a great example of how useful these new features are in Lightroom 5. You can see how this picture was shot straight on, but the lines on either side of this building, they're not perfectly vertical. This is called keystoning. There's a name for it. And unless you have special lenses or you set your perspective just right when you're photographing, this is going to be a very, very common problem among photographers. And it is so simple to fix this in Lightroom 5. I'm going to show you. This time I'm just going to hit the auto upright setting, and it's going to go through and it's going to analyze the picture both to level it and fix the vertical line so now they're parallel. And I'll open up the grid so you can see how good of a job it's done here with those lines. It's just fantastic how well that works. And again, if I select Constrain Crop, it automatically will crop it for me. Okay, let me go ahead and find another example. I could go on and on. This is just such a great feature. So here's a picture. Obviously, it's not vertical, so I'll choose vertical, and you can see how quickly it changes the perspective and now lines up the windows perfectly vertical. Now the full, let me show you what happens when I select full. Full is applying everything. It's going through and doing a complete analysis. You can try different settings. The beauty of this is that at any point, if you want to, you just hold down the Option or Alt key and you can reset and go back to the original. And you can try the various upright settings and just see which one is doing a better job on your particular image. Okay, I think I'll stay with just the vertical corrections here. Now, one other thing, you notice there's another tab here. We've gone through the Profile tab. We've gone through the Color tab. Now there's one more. There's the Manual tab. And if you don't want Lightroom to be doing all this for you, or if you want to kind of tweak one of the auto settings, you can come in and select Manual. And now you have all these transform commands from distortion. You can see what's happening there when I move it to the left and to the right, to vertical. This is another way to kind of tweak whatever Lightroom has come up with previously. Horizontal, transform, and rotate. And you can see that grid appears automatically now when I click on the slider. Scale, and then aspect. So even more ways of fine-tuning or controlling the transformation or perspective controls in Lightroom 5. So once again, Constrain Crop. If I want to get rid of the white, I just select that and it'll crop it automatically, or I could do that up here with the Crop Overlay as well. And then finally, Lens Vignetting. This is not as coarse of an effect as what is found here under Effects for the post-crop vignetting, but you can go in using the lens vignetting controls and control any darkening on the edges or lightening on the edges. So I just can't say enough about how useful this is, especially on some of these images that were pretty hard to fix in the past, but now you can fix them just with one click of the mouse. It's just fantastic.